Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So today I had a great question, and basically the question was asking, what area do you think is ideal to invest in given the interest rate environment? So for those of you who are new to my channel, I've mentioned it before, but I own real estate in three different types of markets. So I own single family homes in California, which is more appreciation, no or very little cash flow, right? So that's California, a lot of appreciation, barely any cash flow or even negative cash flow given today's interest rates. And you make your money by basically appreciating over time, the market appreciation. So that's one market. My second market is Huntsville, Alabama, which is a little bit of appreciation and a little bit of cash flow. So this market, I may be making maybe about $500 a month in cash flow, and also has some appreciation as well. Not as much as California, but it's a little bit of the in between. And then I also own apartments in Oklahoma, Oklahoma is more of a cash flow market and less appreciation, right? So I hope my California real estate portfolio, which is more appreciation, less cash flow, is balanced out by my Oklahoma portfolio, which is more cash flow, less appreciation, and kind of Alabama's in the middle, right? So given these three different types of markets, which one should you invest in given the current interest rate market of around 7%? So, and I would say this answer really depends. So if it was me right now, I'd probably pick like the middle market, like Huntsville, Alabama, because even at a 7% interest rate, now you're probably breaking even and you still get a little appreciation, right? So in Huntsville, Alabama, I could probably, buy my same new build construction for $300,000, putting 25% down, probably have like a 7% interest rate, rents for about $2,000 a month. And at that point, basically you would probably break even, right? Maybe make a little bit, $100, $200 a month in cash flow, which is just essentially break even. So you kind of get the best of both worlds, or you can go to a more cash flow market like Oklahoma, but know that the appreciation isn't going to be as high, unless you do multifamily, where you get the best of both worlds. Remember, in multifamily, the value is based on net operating income divided by the market cap rate. So if you can increase your rent and decrease your expense, you increase your NOI. And if you're assuming your cap rate stays the same, you increase the value of the apartment complex. So that's what I did in Oklahoma, right? So in Oklahoma, I didn't do a single family home, because if I did a single family home, it's more cash flow, not much appreciation. It's not worth it for me, right? So I went to Oklahoma. Not only is it for more cash flow and less appreciation, but I went to a different asset class of commercial real estate, multifamily, right? And with multifamily, 5+ units, the value is based on the net operating income divided by the market cap rate. So as I increase the rents by doing renovations, increase the value. So I was able to force in 2 years about $800,000 in equity, and also cash flow now about maybe $10,000 to $8,000 a month in net cash flow, not saving for reserves, right? So that's what's nice about going to multifamily in a more cash flow market, right? And buying in California today, like my single family home that I live in right now, my total all-in cost is about I think $7,000 a month. Keep in mind I put 5% down, but even if I put, let's say, 25% or 20% down, like which is standard, basically my all-in cost would still be like maybe $6,000. Let's just call it for simplicity. And I definitely cannot rent out this townhouse for $6,000 a month, right? Like this townhouse would maybe rent for maybe $4,000 a month to 45. So you're cash flow negative despite doing self-management, right? So this property, like given this interest rate now, just doesn't make sense in terms of like if you need the cash flow, if you're focused on appreciation and you have money coming somewhere else, then maybe it'll make sense, right? But it's not sustainable to buy cash flow negative real estate, right? So that's why. But I've made appreciation. Like already, I lived in this house for literally 2 months now, and I've made $50,000 of appreciation, and I put $50,000 down. So I already got 100% return on my money on paper, right? So let me break down each market given the interest rate environment. And let's talk about single family homes first, right? So with single family homes in California, high appreciation, no cash flow. If interest rate is 7%, your cash flow is probably negative. You still might get some appreciation, right? Like it's going slower now in California given high interest rates, but if interest rates ever do drop to below 4% again, housing prices probably will start to spike up again because people will start overbidding for properties, just like during COVID, right? And then in Huntsville, Alabama, given this interest rate of 7%, you can buy something for 300K, rent it out for 2,000, new construction. And in this case, you probably cash flow about maybe 100, 200 bucks a month and still get some appreciation there, right? Like I bought my first one for 260 and now it's worth maybe 340. So I made about $80,000 in appreciation since 2021 in 3 years versus I just made that in 2 months in California, right? For context. And if I were to buy a single family home in Oklahoma, remember it's just cash flow. So I might cash flow maybe like 500 bucks a month, but not much appreciation. So now let's take the same example and apply that to multifamily, right? So with multifamily, when interest rates are higher, cap rates will go up, right? So if cap rates go up, what does that mean? So if I have the same net operating income, if I'm dividing that by a 3 cap, the value is a lot higher versus dividing it by a 5 cap, right? So by interest rates going up, it increases the cap rate, it will decrease your value, right? So with California, it's a lower cap rate market. Let's just call it a 3 cap for the sake of this example. I don't invest in apartments in California, but let's just call it a 3 cap for this example. And basically, for every dollar that it goes up or down or cap rate, you'll lose value, right? So if your cap rate goes up by 1, you'll lose value in the property. And let's just take that same example in Alabama. Let's just say Alabama is like a 7 cap market. Same thing, right? If your cap rate went from like a 6 to a 7, value goes down. In Oklahoma, what I like about Oklahoma is if cap rates go up, it's already kind of a higher cash flow market. So, cap rates, when they go up, the value goes down, but you're still cash flowing well, right, on the property. So I really like to buy kind of cash flow assets when interest rates are higher. And then obviously when interest rates drop, you need to refinance, pull out some money, and also lower your loan, right? So for me, it's really hard to say where to invest that's ideal. I just will say don't overcomplicate it. Just think of it based on your personal situation. If you have a high income W-2, you don't mind negative cash flow for temporarily, then California may work, right? If you want to scale and not worry about negative cash flow but still get appreciation, maybe Huntsville, Alabama might work for you. If you want cash flow to replace your W-2 and get that monthly income, then maybe a market like Oklahoma may work for you, right? So I kind of hacked it by doing multifamily in Oklahoma. So I'm doing multifamily in a cash flow market so that as I increase the net operating income, it increases the value. So really it depends, where do you have an unfair advantage? Do you have an unfair advantage in Tennessee? Do you have an unfair advantage in Alabama? Wherever that looks like, that's where you should invest, right? And then for me, don't let interest rates affect you. There's other ways to buy real estate without interest rates. You can do seller financing. You can do subject to. You can do creative financing. There's many ways to solve problems, right? Like you can make deals work in any market, anytime if you go creative financing and go off market. So hopefully this answers your question. Let me know if you have any other questions. If you're interested in joining the mentorship program, check the link down below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.